cute ones.
Yeah, yeah. Given the formats too, like I mean the tournament formats too, you can only choose one of each
Mhm.
class,
Yeah.
right? Typically, so we'll have the same issue of just how do these compare against the old decks? And like you guys said, the old decks seem to still be a better winning percentage. All right, let's see. Is there another deck that we wanted to take a look at here? I think that's going to be it for at least the deck tech portion. Do have a couple Tink My Deck uh, from viewers that are in fans that I figured we would take a look at. So
Tink My
let's
Deck!
bring these up. And we have, oh, speaking of which, a Reno Paladin to start off with. Uh,
Oh.
so this Reno Paladin is from Reno Fox. That's the name of the viewer, and this deck is like it's got hobgoblins in it. It's got a little bit of
Oh
basically
man.
everything in it. So I guess we should give him some advice on how to improve this. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Tink My Deck segment, we take a look at a viewer's deck and we try to give some advice on how to improve it while keeping the same theme. Not completely changing it to basically a mid-range paladin or anything like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so Hobgoblin. Let's just I guess start with that premise and then work from there with the rest of it. With the Reno obviously theme too.
Feel like playing a hobgoblin deck with only one hobgoblin and no card draw is like a little bit ambitious, but we'll try to make it work.
Yeah.
What one card I
Fine,
see
bro.
like missing right away is like if you want to play hobgoblin and just a good aggro card, like you should probably fit a haunted creeper in there.
Yeah, that's
That card, like instead of something like Angry Chicken or Stoneson Gargoyle, there are like some of the less powerful cards in the deck. Um, Other than that, I want to add like some. I think Tyrion should be in the deck just as a like it's very important in Reno decks that like your cards are individually very powerful, and you might want Tyrion just for that reason. And
yeah.
also like let's. I think we could get rid of some of the bad one power minions like Angry Chicken
Yeah.
and the Stone Skin Gargoyle, for example, and Muggish Warden. I don't think they really fit in the deck.
Those cards only do stuff when you get the Hobgoblin, which you're not going to have every game. The three I would take out are Narrowbar Weblord, Angry Chicken, and Stoneskin, and then you replace them with Haunted Creeper,
Mhm.
Tyrion, and something that is high impact because the curve is too low.
A Lay on Hands.
Uh, yeah. I mean, there's
I don't
no
know,
card draw at
it
all in this
doesn't
deck.
really it doesn't really
I
fit the aggro team,
I
but
feel like
then
a
again
low
it helps.
fib. I'll do a
Oh,
low
low
fib.
fib, yeah, that's a good one.
I
But I guess you
actually.
want
Oh, go ahead.
a low curve for Divine Favor, sort of. But yeah, that's fine.
I wouldn't mind
Correct.
seeing like a Sword of Justice in this thing either, just because.
Okay.
I mean, you don't think so?
That
Like,
card, that card gets worse every time there's an expansion because it's like 5/5 worth of stats dragged out over several turns, but then like
yeah,
not good enough anymore. Um, Too slow because you sacrifice board the turn you play it, and then you're only getting like slightly better than a Blackwing Technician after like 5 dudes have been played, and it like has anti synergy with Muster and True Silver. It's just like all these little things make Sword of Justice just like a little bit too weak, basically.
okay.
And I don't know if it. I'm just gonna assume it works with Hobgoblin. I don't think it matters when deciding whether to put it in the deck or not, but. Yeah, the Sword of Justice is just like one of my favorite cards in beta, and every time they make new minions, it gets worse.
Yeah, it's
The Sword of Justice stats stay the same, and every other minion gets better. Piloted Shredder would be the card I play. There we go.
Poly Shredder. Okay, yeah, solid.
Also, Gadgets and Jouster might be a card you want to play. I think it works with
Joust.
Hobgoblin if you win the Joust,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure. I will assume it just works, and then that's a pretty good
Yeah.
one drop, like better than Angry Chicken at least.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's some other one twos that are better. I think some let's see the two drop the mech the the 1/2 mech. You know,
Noitron.
yeah, no, not Noitron. The one that's +1.
Oh, Micro Machine.
The Micro Machine, I think, is a decent one too. That's going to be better than Angry Chicken and Weblord and things like that. But definitely interesting for sure. Actually, Jeeves, he has Jeeves in the deck too. I guess that's a card draw that he has. That's
The deck is not that bad.
Yeah.
Once you move past like the 3 weaker cards, this is passable.
What do you think about the secrets? Like, do you think he needs Redemption and Repentance? I mean,
I think Secret
Challenger in there.
I guess he does.
I like the secrets.
You do like it? Okay.
I like the secrets.
Yeah, I guess he has the
I
three
like
main ones. Oh, the Avenge too. Yeah, he has 4 of them. What am I talking about? Okay.
The direction I've been taking with my secret paladin lists is that like I've cut down to like actually just one of the secrets. I'm not playing a Repentance, but I'm just playing like 1 Avenge, 1 Competitive Spirit, 1 Noble Sacrifice, and 1 Redemption anyway.
Yeah.
So, well, sure, he shut down on Mysterious Challenger because of Reno, but I definitely think that's like a reasonable thing to have in deck if you're going the Reno route, because you don't need more than 1 of every secret.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a very powerful card on its own, which is pretty good in Reno decks.
Okay, yeah, so take a look at those cards, Reno Fox, and maybe swap them out and let us know actually how it goes. We haven't had anybody come back and tell us that they've changed the decks and how they've done. So that would be pretty cool if you guys give us some feedback on, if it's helped you guys out or not. Next deck that we have is Greg Innes, and it's a Dragon Warlock. So we had a Dragon Warlock last week too, I believe. But this one's a lot closer to, I guess, what we see in maybe a Malagus Warlock. But instead of using Malagus, it looks like he uses Chromagus and Nefarian at the end. What do you guys think? There's actually a Crusher in this deck too. Interesting.
Dragon decks are amazing right now. And this one, late game, basically, you have to compare it to like a Malagos deck. Is it better or worse than a Malagos finish? Maybe. The thing I like about Malagos is that it just kills them. Like the turn you play it, a lot of time, if you have 1 Soulfire, or you ended up Emperor Thorisoning your Dark Bomb. But if they Malagos is also like harder to kill than Nefarian, so I don't know. I'm just a really big fan of that finish. But if you want to use Chromagus Nefarian instead, that works too. What I would do is swap the Crusher out for an Emperor Thorson. Like the big change I would make.
Yeah, that would make sense for sure. What about you, Orange?
I would probably... there's 2 changes I want to make to this deck. One is to add the second Blackwing Corruptor. Blackwing Corruptor is like one of the big reasons to play dragons in the first place, and just one of the most powerful cards in dragon decks. So I would definitely add a second one of those. Probably cut... the Crusher. And the other change I want to make is he added the Sunfury Protector there for some needed for some needed taunt, but also I like the Fender Argus a lot more for that in this type of deck because it synergizes so well with Imp-Gang Boss. And also just like in some cases you just need your Twilight Ray to kill a Loatheb and stuff like that. So I like the Fender Argus a slightly bit more than Sunfury Protector. When we're not playing Molten Giants or anything like that. As I said, as Reynad said, I also think I prefer the Malgus finish, but if he doesn't want to go that route, like I don't blame him. There are definitely interesting stuff you can do with this type of deck too.
Fair, and you can get some cool draws too from your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. You just get Sacrificial Pact and kill the Araxes in the mirror and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
It's some good value in a deck that already grinds a lot of people out, like one of like how you win the Warrior Control matchup, for example. Like since the addition of Jessica True Hard to Control Warrior, you barely can burst them down with Malagos, and then you just try to outvalue them, and Chromagus and Nefarian like fits perfectly into that type of plan. So definitely improves the matchup in that sense. But yeah, second Blackwing Corruptor, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think I'd replace Sunfury with Defender Argus. Other than that, I think this looks pretty good.
What do you think about Chill Maul these days? We were definitely seeing less and less Chill Maul in Dragon decks in the last expansion, really.
Yeah, Shilma seems like now we can say it, like sounds like a very good addition to this deck. You don't have a lot of minions that just dies to Shilma, and you can actually just cut one of... I think you can cut the Shadow Flame for a Shilma. It like provides you with another sweeper of some sort, but also just is another threat by itself. So yeah, I like the Shilma edition instead of Shadow Flame too. Good idea.
Yeah. Looks like a strong deck, though. I'm sure he's doing actually pretty well, even with this deck right here. So
Yeah.
little tweaks. I could see this deck getting really, really high.
Yeah,
Let's see
this
Reynad's
could
deck here.
could definitely go a long way on ladder. I think with some tweaks.
I was just,
Shilma second Blackwing Corruptor.
I was just asking Orange like what he thought about Chillmaw, because you mentioned you liked Chillmaw like a few weeks ago, Ray, in Dragon decks.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The card seems good, and I keep putting it in. I've been playing a lot of Dragon decks lately. I actually think the card's like strong. I see a lot of people cutting it, and I don't know. I feel like there's this meeting that happened without me where everyone just decided that like Shilma is not good enough for Dragon decks because no one else is playing it. I'm just confused.
It was
Yeah,
a secret meeting.
I don't know. It seems good enough to me still. You know, I think people just are like looking for a card to cut and they're taking it out. I definitely don't think it's an easy decision to cut it. The card is like pretty good. I definitely think it would be maybe not better than Chromagus. You kind of need Chromagus in this deck to win, but better than like Boom probably.
I was suggesting just cutting like a Shadow Flame for it. Like you cannot use Shadow Flame a lot earlier than turn 7 anyway. Then
Yeah,
I
that
can
works.
just play Shilma.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. All right, well, for Greg, I was just on Orange.
Oh, one more thing. I actually like
sure.
you're playing double BJH. You probably want an abusive there to support them. To like in matchups where they don't have a lot of BJH targets, like you can use a BJH their low fib, for example, for like huge tempo stuff like that. I think that one abusive surgeon would make sense in this deck too.
Mhm.
Instead of
Yeah, that's a good point.
something. Also synergize with Brand Bronze Beard. That's all.
Yep, Greg. Well, hopefully that'll help you out. I think this deck's already pretty solid, and it should be you should be got pretty high with this deck, with the little tweaks that we just talked about. But let's kind of move on to viewer Q&A here. We've got a few questions from the viewers, and for those of you that do have more questions, go ahead and post your questions in the comments actually for this post right here. But first question comes from Christopher Ryan Carter. It says, Reynad, how do you respond to the criticism that Temple Storm received for placing Aggro Shaman at the top of tier 1, while other rankings only placed it top tier at best? Also, thanks, Reynad, for being my favorite streamer since closed beta.
No problem, dude. I don't know. It's it's weird that they like. I don't know. I played the deck on stream and I really liked it. And the first day I played it, I'm like, this is probably the best ladder deck. And then for the first time in 40 weeks of the snapshot existing, the snapshot like agreed with what I thought was the best deck. And all of a sudden, people are saying like, oh, it's just because Reynad like owns Tempo Storm. It's like, no, it's just because I'm like a competent player that like understands what's good on ladder, and a deck that's taken that many people to top 10 legend and is just that consistent is pretty damn good. I don't know. I mean, people are just going to complain about any kind of subjective ranking list. I mean, you can look at like any video game review or anything. Like the comment section's always cancer. So if people want to complain about it, they can. But I honestly have zero input on the meta snapshot. Yeah, I think like half of them don't even like me. Half the people that are on it. So
I don't think people realize that, or some people don't realize that in the community, that the meta snapshot is a completely separate thing from you. So them coming in with the same conclusion is it's, I guess it's more of something that should be brought to that group of guys and to see.
Yeah. But I mean, fun fact, the meta snapshot was actually started by Magic Amy, who is the same person that these like idiots complaining about Reddit, shamed out of the community with no proof. So like at the end of the day, fuck Reddit. Basically, that's my synopsis.
Jordan McKay from University of Michigan for the last week, I've been playing Forsen's Mech Mage list on ladder, and it's been a huge success for me. Where do you think Mech Mage fits in this metagame? Do you think that Gorillabot is a constructed worthy card? Orange, I'll let you take this one.
I don't know exactly what Forsen's Mech Mage list. I have to admit, I don't really know what it looks like. But I played against a bunch of Mech Mage lately. I don't think the deck is all that bad, but I don't think it's very good in the moment either. It struggles like a lot against the Face Shaman, which I think is a deck you want to be pretty good against at the moment. It has these like Mech Warper is a very powerful card against them because it allows you to just like or well them very early against the deck that doesn't have any sweepers. But other than that, like the deck can be a little bit too slow and just lose to like the burst damage that comes down on like turn 7 or 8 or whatever. I think that Gorilla Bot is a card suited for like a slower meta. Like right now, I don't think you can afford to play a 3/4 for 4 mana. That not only just like it trades with the first half of a Shredder, but also it requires you to have another mech in play, which, well, it sounds like a mech deck should always have a mech in play, but that's just like on paper. Like in practice, like that doesn't always happen. Like there's a lot of times where you just like coin out a Shredder on an empty board in that deck. And having the Gorilla Bot, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the card. Also, like, but if we see like a lot of mid-range Druid, like getting popular again because it's a good counter to Face Shaman, I think that we could very likely see Mech Mage doing a bit of a comeback. I know that Firebat is a big fan of Mech Mage, and he will definitely try it. Like if he thinks that it will be good anytime soon, he will definitely try it out. So I don't think that right now is a good time to play Mech Mage, but I can definitely see it becoming like a really good deck on ladder soon. But right now, not really.
Ray?
I streamed it a lot last week and played it for like 2 streams in a row for a lot of hours actually lately, and it's been decent. I think Gorilla Bot's just like worse than Azure Drake in every way. I would pretty much never play the card in Mech Mage. There's just no room. But I do think Mech Mage is a pretty solid deck. It's a good ladder deck, very proactive, good against other aggro decks. I actually think it's very good against Mech Shaman. If they lose the board, they like don't have the time to burn you out, basically, because unlike Control, the Mech Mage deck like not only stops taking the minion damage, but it also puts a very fast clock on them, which they just can't kill you through. They just don't have the mana to play their burn, basically, because of overload before you kill them. So I think Mech Mage is a pretty solid deck right now, and it's one that I would definitely not feel bad taking to a tournament. I don't think it's like broken or anything by any means, but it's just like a very solid high win percentage deck with a lot of good matchups right now.
Okay, cool. Leo Cladart from France. What do you think is the card that'll stand out for the next wing? And what has been your favorite card in the expansion so far, and why? So let's see, let's take a look at the cards.
I need to see the new cards. I just know 1 or 2 cards actually.
Let me send you this page at least. You can take a look at the Hall of Explorers, which is coming out tomorrow. And we got cards like Fossil Devilsaur, Raven Idol, Curse Blade, Museum Curator, which we've talked about a little bit. Archthief from Elise, right? The next hero, or you know, the next explorer, basically. And then Tomb Pillager, Animated Armor, Desert Camel, Eerie Statue. Oh, you can see the list here. Actually, everybody that's watching.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Museum Curator, at least just being that 2-drop for Priest, which is really cool. Is that any other cards you guys or any other cards worth pointing out? At least Ray, and then Orange. Like any cards that really stand out for you?
Yeah, this is an important wing. These are like cards that actually change things. So I think Elise Starseeker. Well, Elise Starseeker is my favorite card of the set, and I'm gonna do a set review like today probably and record it. But it's gonna change a lot. It's gonna change the whole fatigue archetype. I mean, Elise Starseeker will has the potential to change. I'm pretty sure it will just change Control for a long time to come. It's going
to be exciting to see it. I can't wait
I think Cursed Blade is very, very good too. That's gonna single-handedly make, like, that's gonna do to Aggro Warrior what Tunnel Trog did to Aggro Shaman, which is, you know, make it a real deck. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. I think Raven Idol has the potential to be very good as well. It's a card that's like, what was the question? Just what's my favorite card? I don't want to do a whole like
yeah, basically. What impact do you think Elise will have? And
Oh yeah, I think it'll just change the control archetype and fatigue archetype. Like it's the only card in the game that allows you to build a deck with like 29 removal spells and an Elise and have it still win the game, because there's no counterplay to it. Like there's no way to stop it from doing its thing. And something like Ysera, if you were to play 29 removal spells on a Ysera, like the Ysera is not enough to win the game. They'll just silence it or kill it. But
yeah,
at least it does give you inevitability in one card, which is huge. You don't have to play win conditions anymore.
And and the other part of the question was just what's your favorite card so far in everything that's come out? If you were to pick one card, favorite card.
I don't know, man. I guess I'd say Elise, still my favorite card, but I haven't played with it yet, so it's tough to say, right? Of the cards currently released, I guess Tunnel Trog, because it made Shaman, you know, like the best ladder deck from the worst ladder deck. It's a pretty big jump.
Okay.
It shows how big one card change can be. And I also really like Museum Curator, because it'll probably be another 4 or 5 years until we see another Priest 2 drops. Take the 2-mana 1/2 OP stats for now.
Exactly. All right, Orange. What card are you looking forward to this coming release, and then what's your favorite card overall?
Yeah, this new wing is really good. I hadn't actually looked through like all the cards coming out this week, but God, yeah, this wing is stacked. Like I'm excited for the card I'm probably most excited for this. This wing is actually Museum Curator. I think that I was talking a lot with Set a lot during DreamHack, and they think that like now with Entombed last week and Museum Curator this week, like the deck, like Priest is going to be a real contender again, like Control Priest or Midrange Priest or something like that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so, because well, Dragon Priest is fun and all, but it's a bit inconsistent. I mean, I don't have hope that Control Priest is going to be like as consistent as other decks, but just like Control Priest can be a real deck in the meta, like that would make me very happy. And I think Museum Curator, like as a 2-drop, like the Death Rattle cards are very strong.
Yeah.
I definitely think this might put Priest back on the map, and that's what has me the most excited for this week. Also, I'm like Desert Camel. I think might be a good card. In Hunter, of course, and
really, you like that card? Okay.
I mean, I think so. I haven't played with it yet, so it might turn out that it's like really, really bad. But I'm excited for like mid-range Hunter to pull out a web spinner from my deck, and especially against like there are not a lot of decks that plays 1-drops. Sure. I mean, there's a lot of Summer Shows, and that might be like the problem this card has, but like in mid-range Hunter, pulling out a web spinner and following that up with a Houndmaster and either of these two feels like a very strong thing to me. But I'm not convinced that's going to be good, but I'm excited to try it out. Also, I want to see if like the point you just made about Elise definitely struck me as that might be something that might be very good, but if not, like Arc Thief, like the new legendary, I'm not convinced that card is not good. Like I think it might replace Ysera or cards like that in non-dragon decks as a win condition, because all the free spells are like very, very powerful, and even if they BJH this, like you still have this spell that you can use. That all 3 of them have like very powerful effects, and I'm excited to see if that has an impact on the metagame. But
yeah, you get to choose, right? It's a discover.
Yeah, exactly. You get to choose out of the 3 of them is like even more awesome.
What are they listed somewhere?
Yeah, let me.
Yeah,
they should be down there somewhere.
They're
I
all
found
three
them.
of them are 10 mana. Like one gives plus 10 to a minion. That's in my opinion the weakest one.
Yeah.
Then there's Avenging Wrath for 10 mana. Like 10,
All right,
10
so
damage
Yeah.
so you
divided.
take Avenging Wrath if you're behind, and you take
Yeah.
the zombies if you're ahead.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
zombies are
Even-
crazy. Fill a board with 3/3s.
Exactly, and then there's
Yeah.
fill the board with zombies. That's what I mean. Like if they BJH your Arc Thief, you just make 7 free-frees. And
Oh, they made a spell that makes everyone get in here. That's cool.
literally,
Yeah.
3/3s are good.
I hope they say something like that when they come into play. Probably not.
In a zombie voice or something. That would be funny.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that definitely be cool. I mean, obviously it's a turn. It's the next turn because it is 10 mana too. It's like your entire turn. So, but
Yeah.
but it is cool that you can choose which one to possibly finish. It has to be a finishing move, for the most part. Otherwise, it's pretty slow. It's cool though. I'd love to see people playing it like again in competitions and things. That'd be awesome. But what's your favorite card overall in League of
Overall,
Legends?
I think my favorite card in the entire set has to be Keeper of Uldaman. I think that card is
Uldaman?
very,
Okay.
very strong. Yeah, Uldaman. However you pronounce it. I really, really like that card. I think it's one of the stronger cards that Paladin has gotten in a very long time. And it's so versatile and you can do so much stuff with it. I really, really like that card.
Yeah, we were just talking before the show. Like, I feel like we cast it more on our own minions than we do on our opponent's minions.
Well, I love going muster for battle on 3 and then making myself a free on turn 4.
It's funny. You like the card, Ray?
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I think Starseeker is still my favorite card, but
yeah,
I like a lot of the cards in this expansion. Expansion overall is very good.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait.
I'm excited.
I get a monkey, man. that's gonna be the dream.
I'm excited to just Cursed Blade people day one, man.
Cursed Blade.
Look at the first deck I played. Yeah, turn 1 Cursed Blade. Get in there.
Wow. Okay.
Just dash every single turn until ladder's just awful. I don't know. Like,
are you gonna cut any of the other? Are you gonna cut it? Are you gonna cut any of the other weapons or?
Play 2 of all of them that cost 1 through 5, except for King's Defender.
That would be sweet. Arms.
I don't know. Everyone looks to the new wing with like this sense of wonderment and joy, and I just want to take that away from them. You know?
Oh gosh! Wow.
Like day one, I just Gorkron Elite Face, Mortal Strike. It's gonna be beautiful.
Oh my god.
Oh man, the charged arms warrior. That's always the dream for the warrior.
I'm gonna look silly with my museum curators trying to bring justice to ladder.
Right. Ray just starts curse blading you and war axing you and ogre mauling you.
Well, at least I have this one too.
That's right. Okay, next question. Let's see. So yeah, the Elise question was kind of a combination of GP list arts here. Do you think Elise is going to be a decent fit in Zoo decks as a finisher when you start running out of steam? Would you run Elise in a Zoo deck?
Nope. It only works in like I'll call them fatigue decks, even though they never win with fatigue anymore. That's what it's for.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't play it in anything aggressive, no.
Okay. Let's see. Nicholas Lariviere from kernel developer of. Okay. How important do you think class and archetype balances to the game? Would Hearthstone be better off if all 9 classes all had viable aggro, mid-range, control, combo, and tempo decks, giving us 45 options in play, or would the metagame always end up pushing a subset of decks to tier 1? Well, it'd be pretty awesome. I mean, I think if every single class had choices like that, given that the events, I think all the event structures, right, all have to deal with, or at least a lot of the ones that we've played, all limit us to to one deck per class, so just have more variety, I guess, picking between them.
I mean, one of the things that I think is exciting about Hearthstone is that like how every class is unique and does its own thing, giving every class access, like building like viable decks for all archetypes and all different classes would take away that a lot and would make the game a lot less exciting, to me at least. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing I want in Hearthstone, but
Well, I mean, that's assuming that like every aggro deck kind of looks the same. I mean, I think the class, the things that are specific to the class do makes the aggro decks a little bit different, right? Like the hunter, right? It's going to be all face versus I don't know, like a priest, right? If they're going aggro, it's probably something to do with well, possibly to do with like shadow or that sort of thing. And the specific priest cards that deal with that, right? So I mean, they're not identical, right? There's not going to be like a face deck for every single class.
isn't this what he's asking for though?
Well, he's just asking general, I think, archetypes, right? Just aggro. If there was just a viable aggro mid-range control and combo deck for every single class.
I don't know. I feel like that would be hard to do without taking away some of like the unique feelings of every class. So I'm skeptical to the idea, but that's all I have to say, really.
What do you think, Ray?
Well, I mean, I think Orange pretty much covered it. Like, I agree with that.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry.
right now we only have like what one. Well, I guess no class really has every single type of archetype possible, right?
Yeah, it's. I mean, Warrior kind of. It's. I mean,
Yeah.
the best decks just kind of have like the best cards, and they it allows them to play different archetypes when you have that many good cards available. So like, you know, Paladin has so many good cards so that you can play like an aggressive mid-range or controlling version of it. Same thing with Warrior, same thing with Druid. Weaker class like Priest just don't have good like as many good cards, so you can't really build a good like aggro Priest deck.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
how I feel about it. Yeah.
Peace Allen, what do you think of Fatigue Priest? Have you tried it? I know Reynad said Entombed would be useful for the deck.
Entomb turns out it's good for every Priest deck, not just Fatigue, but yeah, Fatigue is not bad. I don't know if it's as good as Dragon though. I think Dragon Priest is probably better.
Yeah. What do you think, Orange? You play Fatigue Priest?
Not played Fatigue Priest. Well, I actually don't really know. I've been playing Stella's Control Priest, which I guess is like, I don't know if Fatigue Priest looks a lot different than that. Yes, that deck doesn't really run a lot of win conditions, but either way, like I've been trying a lot of Priests, and like every single time you just come back to that Dragon Priest feels like a lot better than the other Priest decks. So I don't know, maybe Museum, like Entomb is definitely like at its best in that deck, but I think Entomb is just a good enough card in like almost any sort of Priest deck.
Okay, let's see. I think that's going to be it for the questions. So, everybody, thanks for writing in for Q&A today. Actually, there's one more. Antonio Cravira. Okay, it says, nowadays when you face Warlock, sometimes you can't tell what you are playing against until you die to Arcane Golem. Even in tournaments, people often steal games by cheesing out their opponent. Do you think it's good for the game to have so many archetypes viable?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
mean,
I like it. Like,
yeah,
I don't think it's a bad thing that you're able to take people by surprise. Like that shows that you, like when people get cheesed out by Arcane Golem, that means that like when the one that playing their Arcane Golem Warlocks like plays the deck, that means that he wanted to like take people by surprise. He didn't want people to expect that, and that just rewards like good deck building and good planning on his part. So I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think that's like the opposite. I think that's a very good thing, like rewards preparation and deck building.
it's just strategic aspect to it, and especially going into a tournament. Right? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's any more fun losing to things when it's predictable. Like, losing is just gonna be annoying no matter what. But I think, I like having more types of archetypes be viable and stuff. I think no matter what, no matter how many cards are in the game, there's always gonna be like 4-ish decks that are just kind of better than everything else by like 5%. So, it looks like a lot of archetypes now, but people will be complaining about the same 3 or 4 decks in tournaments after a few months of this metagame settling. But yeah, it's cool to see so many like different viable like tier 2 decks basically that you can bring out at any point in time and do well with.
Okay. Well, that's going to be the last question, guys. So I think that's going to be it for the show, guys. Why don't we wrap up the show? Been nice having you on here, Orange, getting a chance to talk about cards and decks. And one last wing coming out this week, and then we'll wrap League of Explorers up, at least for another few months, until the next expansion comes out. But overall, yeah, this I feel like this expansion has been great, and yeah, this upcoming one should be a really fantastic conclusion to it with some key cards. But Orange, yeah, you want to do some shout outs before we go here?
I guess shout out to Tempstorm, to you two guys for having me. It's been a lot of fun. It's really fun to actually get to talk about things instead of just sitting quiet, playing tournaments and stuff. Always nice for a change. So thanks to you guys in Tempstorm for having me. Shout out to my team Archon, I guess. That's pretty much all I got.
Very cool. Ray?
I got nothing, man. Shout out to you, Chris, for running a good show.
Yeah.
Shout out to Museum Curator. When did Hearthstone come out? 2013?
Yep, 2013.
We got an unconditional 2-drop. Yeah, we got an unconditional.
Yeah. So that's the first 2-drop for Priest in 2 years. Yeah. Hopefully we'll see another one very, very soon, but Curator should be pretty amazing. Priest with 2 Sylvanas, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I can't wait for, just to be able to play some control Priest like that. But yeah, I'll round the things out by thanking you guys for doing the show with me. It's always great doing it with you each and every week, Ray, and then Orange, having you on. We'll have to have you on again when he has some more cool decks and cards to talk about. Also, thanks to the viewers for tuning in today. I know there's a lot going on with just Star Ladder and things like that, but thanks for watching. And the VODs will be on youtube.com/ChanManV as always, and then the audios will be on iTunes just tomorrow, which you can find by search for Hearthstone, and then you can see Value Town there. So that's usually the best way. So SEO wise, we can get higher from the standpoint of Hearthstone podcast. And also, I just want to remind folks that tomorrow, or not next week, that we're gonna have a holiday episode, which is gonna be lots of fun. We're gonna have, just try to have as much interaction with you guys. So we'll probably be building decks too for you guys to try out and hanging out, talking about the 2015 Hearthstone and giveaways, all that good stuff with a member of Team 5, and hopefully another player guest too, with me and Ray. So definitely tune into that. Follow us on Twitter so that you can kind of keep track when that's going to happen. And lastly, we have a Patreon for ValueTown. You can go to patreon.com/ValueTown. Check it out. It's a great way to support the show and keep things going. Lots of great milestones and rewards. Still trying to reach our first milestone, actually. So yeah, check that out. See if that's something you're interested in, because that'd be awesome. And lastly, I want to thank Tempo Storm for sponsoring the show, and obviously the sponsors there for Tempo Storm, G2A, and Twitch here. Without that, definitely the show wouldn't be possible. So big thanks to Ray and Tempo Storm for that. But that's going to be it for Value Town. So for Orange, Reynad, and myself, ChanManV, we'll see you next time. Later.